this for a second time. Hopefully I don't look like a trash panda when I do this. Should I put my hair up? I feel like I should put my hair up. I'm also a little out of breath because I just tried to set this up and I'm so a little tired. So there's that. We'll do it live. It's fine. Hi. I'm Kiki. I am 4 years old and I'm from Texas. If you've seen me in any of the reading sprints that I've been in, I've been doing reading sprints for a little while. I've been showing up, been talking about this, about how I'm gonna actually do this, start a booktube. Here it is. I'm probably not gonna put anything there. I'm having to learn from scratch, so this is gonna be real basic. Bookcase. Show you actually I do read. That's weird. Why would you question my reading? Why would I even be part of reading sprints if I didn't? For a really long time, like a really long time. I remember my mom going to the library or like volunteering at my like school library, and where you could only get like 2 or 3 books. My mom had like a big freaking stack of books, and it got me so excited. And she would pick me up and she would just give me all these stack of books, and she'd go, "Here, read this," and I'd be like, "Okay." So, and I would eat my Happy Meal because we don't really know about health very well here in Texas, so it was the 90s. You gotta understand. Ooh. Did I just age myself? It's okay. And then I think I got a little older, got a little bit more like too cool for school, and realized that I just didn't want to do that anymore. I didn't want to read anymore. Putting makeup on and trying to get boys' attention instead, and being an asshole. So, normal stuff. And honestly, that went on and off for a while. I would always like go to Barnes and Noble and buy I'd buy one book. I would buy a book, and I would get it, and I would put it on my shelf, and I'd be excited about it. I would pay for it, and then I would never read it. So I had all these books on these shelves, and I was like, never read them. I needed something to kind of have my mind clear. I needed something to take my mind off something that was happening that was really bad, and I just didn't want to like do anything where I'm not creative. I don't draw. I do write, but we'll talk about that later. Actually, I want to go back just a little bit more. I got back into reading because COVID kind of put me in a place where I was stuck. I got into a Star Wars universe and all that stuff, and I got into Reylo, and I got into Adam Driver. I loved Reylo, and I loved so many stories of Reylo. I also got into like Adam Driver character and Rey stories too. Those were always really fun to me. I ended up finding out from like the Reylo community that a lot of Reylo writers were actually getting book deals. And so I felt like I had to support it. And so I started getting books again. And I don't have it here. It was The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I loved it. 5 stars. Enjoyed it. Maybe I was biased because I am a Reylo fan first and foremost. I was actually supposed to read it for a vacation I was going to go on last year, and end up reading it before I could even get my butt on a plane. So, shit happens. So, I really enjoyed it. I really felt like I could do this more. Then I kept seeing a lot more people who were like, well, if you like this story, then you'll like this actual book story. and it kind of became like a trend for a little while on Twitter. By the way, I'm one of those people. I like Twitter. Raylo community is really big there. A little toxic, but it's big. A bunch of stuff was recommended, and that was the start of like the first book, which I do have, which was, which is crazy because it feels like a gigantic step forward, but it actually was Credence by Penelope Douglas. I know this is a big, gigantic jump. You gotta understand, fanfiction is not afraid to get controversial because they can do that, because they don't have anyone to like tell them what they should and should not say and all that stuff. They don't have any publishers, they don't have any editors, they don't have any publications. They can say whatever the fuck they want to say. And trust me, there's been a lot of drama about it. Because there's been some Raylo writers who've gone like way too far. But if we're being honest, I am not surprised that when someone said, hey, if you like this story or this story, they said something like Credence to come up. It's just by anything Penelope Douglas, to be honest. Like, I wasn't surprised. So yeah, this was the next one, and I liked it enough to, I don't know what I rated it. I forgot what I rated this, but I probably rated it a little higher than what I probably would now, just because I've been on a journey. But to go from Raylo fanfiction to Penelope Douglas book, this was nothing. This was nothing, but just bear with me. So the next ones that I kind of got into were, I wanted to stick with it, which is spicy books. I liked spicy books. That's what you're gonna get with this channel, by the way. Spicy. I like smut. I like dark romances. I like morally gray characters. I am not ashamed to say it. So, I went on TikTok because I didn't know at the time that Booktube was a thing, which I should have known, to be honest, now that I think about it. But TikTok was my go-to. So, I got a few. I went on TikTok and I got all these recommendations, and I kept seeing these books over and over, and I was like, oh my gosh, Colleen Hoover? I think I might be into Colleen Hoover. Everyone seems to be into Colleen Hoover. I didn't do Colleen Hoover. I'm just fucking with you. I went smutty. This is a roommate. Don't know what I rated that, but it was spicy. Next was Elle Kennedy, The Deal. And yes, I did try to, I know it's crazy looking. This was my first attempt ever to annotate. It's not good. It's not good. But I tried, and I realized I didn't like doing annotation the first time around because it took forever to read a book. So I stopped doing it immediately. And then I read, which is a pretty popular, like, all-around book that everyone always talks about, which is It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. Ever since, I don't think I've not picked up a Tessa Bailey book. I have a few of Tessa Bailey's backlist that I still have to read, but this is where I started to love anything Tessa Bailey, and I follow Tessa Bailey, and I love to hear all her comments about what she's doing and what her ideas are telling her, and videos that inspire her and all that stuff. So yeah, this is where it starts. I love this book, by the way. But yes, It Happened One Summer. And then last but not least, it took me a while to actually get to read this because I felt weird about it, because this is where it started, where I realized I didn't want any real people on my covers or half-naked men on my covers, because it makes me really nervous and I'm an anxious person. But this recently got like a new cover, which I probably will go get and probably put this like in half price books or something like that and just sell it. But that's Priest by Sierra Simone. Yeah, this is where I got introduced to Sierra Simone, and I wasn't disappointed. I will say this though, what inspired me to get this book is Fleabag season 2. If you know, you know. So I'm trying to think where I went from there. I think I got a bunch more. I think I just went crazy, and anything that like was on the book talk table and Barnes and Nobles I got. Some never passed the vibe check. Hoover. Okay, I feel like this is a great time because I've mentioned this twice already in roasting her. If you like Colleen Hoover, that is great. This is a place where you will never be judged for what you read or slut shamed for what you read, because I would never want you guys to do that for me. For those people who are like, you know, who read dark romances and are like, hey, this isn't realistic. Well, yeah, of course it's not realistic. I don't know if I would ever date a millionaire CEO of a where is it? Of a Disneyland, or I would never go into an island, like a planet where there's blue aliens with a very large male anatomy, or just an awful guy. Let's be honest, this guy's just awful. He's just rich. He's just fucking rich. I get it, okay? And I would never date someone from the mafia because most of the time they all look like Michael Imperiali from The Sopranos. I know my expectations, and I assure you, I'm not reading this for realism. I read these with a full expectation that I know that none of these are realistic in any way, and that's why I like them. I want to get away from my reality for just a while, like maybe an hour or 2 or 3. So I understand. I really don't want anyone in the comments going down there and just being like, you don't have realistic expectations of a relationship. I know, because I hate to be a bearer of bad news. I'm single and dating sucks. All the men suck. Like, they suck. Like, I have so many horror stories, but I won't even go into it. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so I understand my realistic versus my reality versus my non-reality of these books. I don't need you to tell me how unrealistic it is. Yeah, I skipped a book, whatever. Well, I guess I can just go and tell you, other than smutty romance books that I've shown you, I can show you a couple other things that I'm into. I am into horror. Horror. There's Grady Hendrix. Oh, please come here. Please come here. Riley Sager. Honestly, I'm just getting stuff that's like close to me because I don't want to move. I can get into some contemporary, like some really like heavy contemporary. Just kind of depends on the day. What else? I feel like I need to say this. I can do a closed door romance. I just don't want to, but I can. I'm always willing to try YA, mystery or like fantasy. To tell you the truth. Oh, yeah. Speaking of successful YA, this series, Inherent's Game series, I guess I could call it, is very successful, like all 3 of them. So it's not like it's impossible for me to not get into YA. It just, I do have expectations of a plot, and sometimes YA just doesn't really like hit. So there's that. Oh, I guess we should put the gigantic elephant in the room. I am this bitch. I am this bitch. It's all the way up there. Favorite series actually right now, Crescent City. I love Crescent City. I can't begin to tell you how much this book was like everything to me. It's so sad, but like it made me laugh, it made me cry, it made me worried. The characters were so good in it, and my friend kept telling me, she's like, oh, you have to read this, you have to read this. And then I kept looking at this and I was like, not today, Satan, not today. So I kept putting it off for so long. And just last month, I finally read this, and I do not regret it, because now it is, right now, probably my favorite book right now. That's the truth. Another favorite book of mine is actually The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I am a humongous fan of The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I don't have it with me right now. I made the grave mistake of letting my sister borrow it for ever. And she has not read it or given it back. So, yeah. And I'm probably going to be acting like a loan shark here in a minute, and instead of giving my money, it's giving back my book. On the rarest of rare occasions, I will pick up a nonfiction. On occasions, you just want to read about someone's real life, and you want to like experience that with them and be like, you went through a lot. Like, I'm so happy that you made a book about it to talk about it. So I'm trying to think what else there could possibly be. So, mystery, thriller, sometimes contemporary, sometimes YA, sometimes fantasy, but majority is romance and horror. So I feel like this is where I need to tell you about, I guess, expectations, maybe. I don't read something because someone else read it. If someone enjoyed it, I will give it a go. But if they did not like it and I had it on my TBR, I'm gonna keep it on my TBR, because the only person who can make that choice and that option to if I like it or if I'm gonna be different from that person is gonna be me. So in that case, you'll be getting a lot of, I feel like, maybe unpopular opinions about some books. I just have a mind of my own. I like to know for myself. It might be my Aquarius. I don't know. We're a very like independent bunch of people, so we kind of go by the beat of our own drum. So that's one thing you can expect from this channel, probably. The second thing is I'm also very much going to be talking about, well, not like all the time, but I am going to talk about sex positivity, and that is the full understanding that you are not a bad reader because you like pre-smut, or you like face smut, or you like millionaire smut, or mobster, mafia, or motorcycle, or whatever, you know, or vampire, werewolf. All that stuff is okay to like. And I feel like what I can bring to BookTube is an idea of just a positive space where we can talk about it and be like, how spicy a book was, and of course understanding everything is subjective, and what I think is like, I think this is like a 3, might be like a 4 to someone else, 4 or 5. Can we all agree this is a 2? This is a 2 on the spice. There's one like scene. So, like, come on, people. 5. 5. Because what he does might just send you to hell just by reading it. But I want a positive space where we can talk about smut and it not be weird. And I feel like I want to talk about some spice level, and I want to talk about kinks, and I want to talk about what they may be. Of course, obviously I want to be very careful because I know people have certain triggers. Of course, I will be very, very careful with that kind of stuff. Give me a few of these videos to kind of get the hang of editing, and then hopefully I can learn how to like put in what time to go forward when, so you don't have to like listen to something that maybe might be a trigger or something. But give me at least like 3 or 4 videos before you guys tell me I'm doing a horrible job at this. But I wanted this to be a place where we can talk. We can talk about it and be okay with it, and you in the comments can share like, yeah, this is something I'm kind of into, and here's why. And I didn't know that I'd be into big alien boogaloos. And it's okay. It's okay. We can talk about it. We can discuss, and we can make this a fun space instead of a space where I feel like some people kind of want to make fun of it and kind of be like, oh, I'm going to read this just to hate read it, or I'm just going to read it because everyone else has been reading it. I just want to, but I know immediately I'm going to hate this book. Those people are the reason why I feel like I had to make a booktube, because I feel like there's a stigma on it, and I don't think there should be. That was one thing I learned from reading fan fiction and getting into a community where it was really odd for us to kind of have a good conversation about like, this is kind of what I like, and this is what I don't like, but I can understand why people like this, you know? I feel like this is this great middle ground that we can get into where we can just kind of be a little bit more respectful to people who do like smut, romance, erotica, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, and then of course me just also talking about regular books, and me talking about maybe something that has like a social like stance to it that maybe I feel like should definitely be talked about. I feel like I wanted a whole conversation just about this one, because this is the kind of stuff that I feel really passionate about talking about, and what it looks like to people who are actually victims of it and things like that. But I mean, it can also just be like a really fun video. I promise nothing is always going to be that serious. I could do a whole video blog of me just rereading this and you seeing my reaction to this, and I'm not afraid to cry on the camera, because I assure you I will cry no matter what, because the scenes in here that made me cry will still make me cry. But I guess that's just kind of it. I can't think of anything else. I feel like I should have like wrote down what I wanted to talk about. I just kind of went, okay, turn this on. Let's go. Also, Aquarius thing. We're not organized at all. We just kind of like go into it, hope for the best, cross our fingers. But yeah, I guess the next thing is, if you like what you heard and you're interested, then I would like you to subscribe to me. And hopefully I won't just neglect this, and because I can't figure out editing. But I feel pretty passionate about this. I feel like I love talking about books, and I love talking about the things I'm reading. It makes me happy. It's a hobby that I've gotten into. There's like so many other videos that I have planned. I have like reading something within a week. I also have a reading journal that I decided to do that's a little bit more different from, well, I wouldn't say different. Obviously got the idea from TikTok and someone from TikTok, but I would love to show you kind of once I get a little bit more into it, what my process of doing my reading journal would be. Of course, reading vlogs, talking about series that I'm really into. My friend who recommended me this book really, really wants me to read Throne of Glass. So there's always a possibility that I could just do a whole vlog of me just reading Throne of Glass. Or, I don't know if I can do the whole thing, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm just like, that sounds like a nightmare, so probably not. But if I do really good on like these editing and things like that, maybe I can do reading vlogs where I'm telling you like kind of what I'm reading during a readathon. And I pretty much what I'm saying is I have a bunch of ideas. I am losing light. And I actually have somewhere to be, and I don't know what time it is because this doesn't tell me what time it is while I'm doing this. So I'm probably just gonna call it here and try to edit this. Wish me luck. If you see it, then you know that I succeeded. If you see it and it's still really, really raw and bad and rough, you know that I attempted and decided just to throw my hands up in the air and just go, I'm just posting it. Just post it. I don't care. So, you'll be seeing which one of those two it is. But until then, please subscribe, please like, and, I'm really excited to do this, and I hope you guys are too, and, let's go on this journey together. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Okay, bye! So, editor, Kiki here. That's why my hair looks fucking crazy. Again, with the language, I swear, guys, I'm gonna try to do better at the language. So, doing this, I realize how rough this video is. So I thought I'd just come on here and just kind of like clarify what my random babbling in a better way, I guess. I'm also kind of like sleepy too, so bear with me. My channel is going to be a lot of just talking about books, talking about what I'm reading, vlogs about what I'm reading and how I'm feeling about it at the moment. And then theme stuff, which might be about the social books, the social theme books, and the sex positivity of let's be okay with what we're reading, and smut and romance and all that stuff. And I think that's it. I feel like that's the only part that's I don't know. There's probably a bunch that's confusing, but I feel like that one is the one I feel like I need to explain better, because I looked crazy in this, and I am so sorry. And I'm hoping that after a while that I'm like just like not having to randomly talk to you guys and think things through and all that stuff, that it would make more logical sense. And I'll try to stop doing that a lot, and I will try not to cuss as much. And I just did it again. I got a lot to learn, just bear with me. I promise it's gonna be good. We're gonna have fun. Please subscribe, please like. Okay.